chocolate day. And you know what? I don't know what your favorite chocolate is. Personally, I like Twix and I like Reese's Pieces. But today, I introduce to you Jerry Rowley, CEO of Logan's Candies.
Hi, everybody. Good morning, kids. How are you today? So my name is Jerry. I'm just going to talk a little bit about Logan's Candies. I'm going to show you around the store a little bit, talking a little bit about the history of the store, a little bit about the history of chocolate. And so let's get started here. So follow me in the other room here, and we'll kind of get started here a little bit. So the room, as you walk around the store here, candy is everywhere, which is a great thing. We have over 700 kinds of candy we carry here at the store. 200 of those we actually manufacture right here. So I'm going to show you a couple of things here. If you turn around real quick here, Michael. All what we have up here is a big giant candy cane. Sorry about that. This is our world's biggest 100% handmade candy cane. That's a candy cane we made right here on this very table. It's one of the things that we're kind of most known for here, making our candy canes and the ribbon candy and some other candies. But we're going to talk a little bit about, let's step into the room here. We'll talk a little bit about the history of Logan's Candies. So, Logan's has been in downtown Ontario since 1933. Originally, we were out on Euclid Avenue, just a couple blocks north of here. We moved down to this location where we're here right now in 1953. And then about 6 years ago, we opened up on this side, and then we'll show you a little bit bigger side on the other side over there, where we opened up about 20 years ago. And just trying to have a little bit more expanded over the years, had a chance to make some candies. It's been really good for the community. A little history about me. I am actually a local guy here from Ontario. I lived in Montclair most of my life, went to school in the Ontario Montclair School District, went to El Camino, went to Vernon Junior High, went to Montclair High School, some kind of a local boy. We have lots of people. We're not far from Chaffee High School up the street here, lots of other schools in the area. So, but anyways, we want to point out a couple things here. Just make it kind of fun for you guys. One of the things we do carry here is we carry some ice cream. Now, the ice cream that we carry is made by a local company for us called Burnt Rockies. The reason we love Burnt Rockies, I don't know if you can get a shot of there, Michael. See, you got some frozen bananas and some different ice cream in there. But what we love about Burnt Rockies, they've got great ice cream, but they also let us put our ingredients right in the ice cream. So we can put our marshmallow on the Rocky Road. We put the nuts in some of them, nutty caramel coconut, English toffee, and we even do a candy cane ice cream. Of course, we all know that Christmas season is coming up. So for us here, we're in the midst of the candy cane season, getting started. Halloween, I know it's just a couple days away, but we're ready to start rolling into the Christmas season. So I'm going to point out a couple other things over here. So the Logan family, like I mentioned, took over in 1933, ran the store until 1974. And that year is the year they sold the store. They sold the store to a friend of my mom and dad's. And that's how I got involved. They actually asked me to come down and work for them. So I came down as a kid and I bagged candy canes, rolled candy canes. They taught me to start shaping candy canes, started doing a little bit more over the years. I did started doing some packaging for them and things like that. Came back just during the holiday seasons. And then in 1970, I was actually only 12 at the time. I turned 13 about a month later. So I actually started working there when I was 12. Labor laws were a little bit different for kids working back then than they are today. But and then in 1978, they sold the store to a gentleman named Rick Minnis. And I actually worked for him for about 4 years. Started doing more and more. At this point, I'm in high school. Started coming and working all the holidays. Started teaching me how to make a few other things. So I helped out in the back room and continue to work here. And then I started up at Chaffee College in 1980, graduated in 1980, started Chaffee College, was working on some business courses. Well, what I did is I was able to use Logan's as a lot of the different business papers I wrote. I was able to use Logan's as an example. And I started thinking, wow, this is something that maybe I could make this business work a little bit better. And at the time, the gentleman who had owned it decided he wanted to sell the store. And then in 1982, me and my wife, Susie, bought the store. We've actually been running it ever since. In fact, this year, as of October 10th, was our 40th year owning here at Logan. So we're going to show you around a little bit. We'll take you to the back room, so some chocolate making, and get this whole thing started over here. So we're going to show you up front here. We got a lot of nostalgia candy we carry up here. A lot of old-fashioned candy. There's a lot of candies you guys probably remember even now as a kid. I got Three Musketeers, Milky Way, Butterfingers, but I also have some old-time candies like Big Hunks, Dots. I believe I have Twix, which is Michael, I believe he said was his favorite. We've got the Necco wafers here, which go way back. This is a company that goes back into the 1800s making candy. Boston baked beans. I've got some modern things, got some older things, Tootsie Rolls, Abba Zaba, Sugar Babies, things like that. Of course, we have all kinds of gummy candies and sour stuff and things like that, a bit of honeys. Some of those are some of the older candies that were around in the early 1900s and the 30s and 40s. We're going to turn right here a little bit. I'm going to point out a couple things. We've got some of the candies that we make here. We make peanut brittle. Here's one of the things we make. Got some peanut brittle. This is also coconut peanut brittle with Halloween season. One of the things we make here is marshmallow. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. These are some marshmallow pumpkins that we make here. Chocolate covered in honor of National Chocolate Day here today. Got some English toffee, make that right here. Some of you guys may have seen some of our videos online making the candy canes and the pillows. There's some of the pillows that we make here. Got 11 different flavors and things like that. Also have our candy canes that we make. I don't know if you can see on the back wall over there, but we've already got some ribbon candy up there. Got some butterscotch, orange, root beer. 13 different flavors currently, but as Christmas season comes along, we'll end up with about 27 different flavors. Now, like I say, we literally have candy in every inch of the store. We're going to walk into the other room here too. We'll show you our wall of jar candies over here. Maybe first we can actually do a little scan of the chocolates we make. These are all the chocolates that we make here. So out of the 700 candies that we carry here at Logan's, about 200 of those we actually manufacture right here. And including chocolate covered everything, milk and dark chocolate nut clusters, peanut clusters, almond clusters. We make turtles. We make chocolate covered potato chips, cream centers, caramels, just about everything you can imagine. Of course, we all know kids love candy suckers like this. Now, this is not one we make here, but this is one that we carry. Everybody loves the rainbow candy canes there, or candy suckers. That's a very popular item. And we'll step over to the other side here. Lots of jar candies that we make. I'm sorry, that we don't make, but we carry. So a lot of this stuff is the stuff that we do not make here. But you can see over here on the wall, I've got some chocolate suckers that we've got for Halloween with some little pumpkin shapes. I've also got my fudges in the case here, different fudges that we make, chocolate fudge, nuts without, plain, divinity, some old-fashioned ones also. And then also, I don't know if you can get a shot of the wall of jars there, but literally on this wall right here, I have about 175 different jars of candy right there. Gummies, Swedish fish, gummy worms, chocolate nuts, jawbreakers, orange slices. So just about everything you can imagine. Cinnamon. We do try to carry just about everything you can imagine. If you can't find it somewhere else, hopefully you can find it right here at Logan. So, but I know what you guys are really waiting for. You're really waiting for the chocolate. So let's head in the back room. I'm going to point out a few of the things that we make, and we'll take a look into the world of chocolate out here. So you can also see in this gift area, we have a big gift selection area out here. We got lots of different gifts and things that we sell for the different holidays. Lots of our bulk candies. We have personalized items for Christmas, ornaments and things like that that we'll carry. But we do carry a pretty wide array. Like I say, remember, we've been here since 1933, so we got lots of different things that people want to come down and shop for and take a look at. So we'll meet you on the other side, Michael. We'll head through the back room here. Also, more jars over here. We carry saltwater taffy. Now, we don't make the taffy here, but we do carry lots of taffy. Actually, have 38 different flavors of taffy over here. Some different hard candies and things like that. So we'll be getting some of those maybe in the next few days as Halloween's upon us. Maybe we get some of those maybe on Monday for the neighbors giving out and stuff like that. But let's head to the back room here, Michael, and we'll take a look at the back room and see some of the chocolate making back here. So you'll notice the girls working feverishly over here, or at least acting like they're working feverishly, packing up candy, making up and packaging orders and everything for us. So say hi, girls. Hi, guys.
Hi.
And then we'll move into the back room here. Now, this is kind of the epicenter, the kitchen of where we make everything. We're going to point out a couple things to you guys. So if you want to come a little closer here, Michael. One of the things I mentioned we make here is caramel. So we make our caramel apples. You can see here I've got them for Halloween. Almonds, pecans, M&Ms, all kinds of different ones here. Here's some plain ones. We'll cover them in white chocolate, cinnamon sugar, all kinds of really good stuff there. Also, we do lots of chocolate molding. I'm just going to point out a couple things here. This is the local Ontario police badge that we do in chocolate. We just did this for last week at an event. It's actually the chocolate city seal that we did. It's a custom seal, the city logo right there, all done in chocolate. Let's see, I also have back here, we just did a happy 80th birthday. We're able to customize that for somebody who's having their 80th birthday party. Or if you want to get your dad something as the holiday season with Christmas coming up, he's not good with tools. These are tools to be great with because I got chocolate saws, chocolate hammers, chocolate wrenches. That way, if you make a mistake, you can just eat the can and eat the tool. It's all done. The cleanup is very easy. It's easy done. Easy done. So a little bit of history of the chocolate here. I'll point out a little bit. Start talking about some chocolate. So most of you guys have had chocolate before. You know, if you hold chocolate in your hand too long, it begins to melt right away. I know M&M says chocolate melts in your mouth and on your hands. That can happen. But we all know if we hold a candy bar too long, it will start to melt in your hand. And the reason for that is because chocolate melts at about 88, 89 degrees. Of course, the temperature of your hand is closer to 96 or 98 degrees. So that's why if you hold it too long, the chocolate will melt. Now, when we get our chocolate here at Logan's, we get it in tons of this big giant paper block here. This is actually part of chocolate, right? Which is a semi-sweet chocolate. You can see a big giant 10-pound block right there. And then the one I'm holding here is milk chocolate. get a 50-pound box of chocolate, and there'll be 5 10-pound blocks. So this is a giant 10-pound block of chocolate right there. What we'll do is we'll actually break it up with a hammer into little pieces, and then we'll use it in our dipping machines. Now, this is a little bit different chocolate than you would get elsewhere. It's not that stuff kind of chocolate you can microwave. You know, if you've ever tried real chocolate versus some of the other kind of chocolate, a lot of people say, oh, this chocolate's really great, not as good. Well, this is pure chocolate. This contains cocoa butter. And cocoa butter is also extracted from the cocoa bean. And that's what makes it a little bit more unique. Now, what that means is when we dip our chocolate, it all has to be within a temperature of about between about 86 to 90 degrees, depending on which kind of chocolate we're working with. So I have a little machine over here that actually melts the chocolate. So what we'll do is after we break it up in little pieces, we'll then drop our chocolate right into the back of my machine over here. And Mike, you want to pull this a little bit so we can take a look over here.
Chocolate.
You can see in here, but this is actually a spinning machine here, and there's chocolate live in there. Now chocolate is liquid form, and it's actually only about 88 degrees. Now, it looks like it's much, much warmer than that because it is liquid, but actually what we'll do is just take these blocks, we drop them right in the back of the machine, and the way it's heated is there's actually 2 100-watt light bulbs, just the old-fashioned light bulbs that create heat. I'm not sure if you can see, but when the light bulbs come on, the lights come on, and that's all it takes to melt the chocolate. So when we actually dip the chocolate, it's going to be 88 degrees, 87 degrees. So it's actually cooler than the temperature of your hand. That's why sometimes it will melt in your hand when you're eating chocolate. Now remember, if you eat a chocolate bar, maybe you held it in your hand too long, you start to get some white spots on it, things like that.
You're doing
that can happen, but remember, it's still good. The chocolate would just have to be retempered, and it's still completely edible. So let me point out a couple of things, and then we'll show you in the cool room. I got all kinds of different kettles we use here. You can see here, I've got my big giant copper kettle here. We'll mix things up right here in the back room. I've got my kettle here. I've got my stick. So we'll add ingredients right directly to that. Mix up the candy right here, cook it right in here. If we're making fudge, we did pour it right on our table. This is actually a granite table here. I have my one in the front for candy canes is marble, but this is granite. We also have my old-fashioned scale over here where we weigh up our candy. Of course, and you guys probably know what would be the #1 ingredient in candy. I know you guys probably know, but yes, if you're guessing sugar, that would definitely be the #1 ingredient in most candy. Some people wonder what's the #2 ingredient in candy. Some people might say nuts, peanut butter. Well, corn syrup. Now, corn syrup has kind of gotten a bad name. It is kind of a stabilizer for the sugar. So we call it, this is actually not hydrogenated, partially hydrogenated. This is just pure old-fashioned corn syrup. We like to call it liquid sugar. And you can see there what we do is we weigh that up. So it comes in this 160-pound barrel here. And you can see it is very, very gooey, almost like honey, a little bit thicker than honey. Don't want to get stuck in there because that is very, very sticky and gooey there. But that is the #2 ingredient in almost every candy. So what we'll do is we'll actually weigh up our candy a little bit. I've got my kettle here. We'll actually put some ingredients, maybe put a little bit of corn syrup on the bottom, add some sugar to it. Maybe mix it on put it on the stove here, mix it up a little bit, stir it up. Cook it. If I'm cooking caramel, I might have to sit here for about 45 minutes and stir it over and over again. Of course, once we're done, we'll then dip our apples out, make turtles, different things like that. If I'm making marshmallow, one of the things we make here is marshmallow. You guys remember the Halloween marshmallow pumpkin heads I have front there. So what we'll do is after I cook it in my kettle here, I've got my mixer here also. It's pretty fast right there. We'll pour the ingredients right inside the mixer here, whip it around, rip that marshmallow. Once it gets nice and fluffy and white, we'll then spread it on the table here. So I'll put a big giant piece of paper on here, some butcher paper. We'll actually take some of our tools that we use. So I'll point out some of the tools. Different scrapers and things we use here. You can see some of them are very, very bendable, flexible. Some of them are kind of pre-bent already. I've got knives for cutting up caramel, things like that. And of course, the scraper is one that we use all the time. And most of those are just done so we can bend them and get them right inside the kettle here and scrape out any additional candy inside there. So once we pour it on the table, we scrape that out. You can see they just bend right to the shape of the kettle there. So like I mentioned, if I'm making marshmallow, I'll put it on the table here. I'll make a full sheet of marshmallow. Just about takes up the entire table. I'll spread it out with my little spreader here. And then, of course, depending on what holidays coming up, we do different things with the marshmallow. Of course, you guys saw up front, what do we have out there? We had some pumpkins out there. I got a little cookie cutter. So what we'll do is once this marshmallow sets up after about an hour, now this is actually caramel marshmallow here, but I'll kind of demonstrate to you. We're going to take our cookie cutter, and we literally just cut out little shapes of the marshmallow. Now, if it were Valentine's Day, what would we do? Valentine's Day is a big chocolate day. Of course, we take our heart-shaped cookie cutters, cut out some different hearts and marshmallow, and then we dip those in chocolate, put a little stripe on them. Or maybe for Father's Day or for 4th of July, This is Star, because we all know we have all-star moms and dads there for different holidays. Same thing, we just cut out that shape, take it into the cool room and dip it in chocolate. Now I've got a little, my cool room, the light went out. I apologize. This is normally when we would show you when we do the dipping. We're gonna do it out front here today, but we do want to show you a little bit darker here, but hopefully you get in here and take a look at a few things. And I'll just point a few things out to you. So once we dip the chocolate, we have these trays of wax paper. This is actually a French truffle here. I don't know if you how well you can see that. Those got dipped last night. We're gonna put a little white stripe on top of those in a little bit. Then we'll put them right out and sell them. Very delicious. And also here I have some macadamia. Yeah, macadamia. So we do once again, we just dip them in chocolate here. Once we dip them in chocolate, we put them on the rack here. Now the reason we call this the cool room, this room is very small, but it's very mighty. Once you have it completely full of candy, it holds over 2,500 pounds of chocolate in this room. So if you're gonna get trapped in here, this is the place to get trapped. So we'll dip it right out of the machine here, put it on the wall. The cool room, because it has its own independent air conditioning system, blows right out of the chocolate, cools it, makes it nice and shiny. Because you can see how I remember we talked about that temperature on the chocolate, keeps it nice and shiny. And then, like I said, this is going to be ready to unpack in just a little bit. Take it out front, and it's ready to sell. Now we're going to demonstrate a little bit of chocolate here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a glove here. Too much talking, so let me get a little sip of water here real quick. So one of the things we do is when we dip our chocolates, we dip nut clusters and different things. So I'm going to get my glove on here, and I'm going to actually pull up over here. So remember the tray we just showed you in the cool room. So here it is with my wax paper lined right on there. So I'm actually just going to pull up my chair. If I might even want to come from behind me over here, if I get a little bit better view. So remember, this chocolate is pre-tempered now. So it's been spinning here this morning. We had to get it fired up before you guys got here. It's about 88 degrees in here. So what I'll do, depending on what we're dipping, this morning I'm going to dip some almond clusters. So these are some almonds that we had roasted ahead of time. We also roast our own nuts here. And we do almonds, peanuts, cashews, all kinds of different ones. And we chocolate cover them. Sometimes add a little bit of caramel. So in this case, I'm going to grab a handful of the almonds. I'm going to put a little bit of chocolate on my hand there. You can feel it feels warm. It is 88 degrees, cooler than the temperature of my hand, but it is still a little bit on the warm side. So I'm going to drop those almonds right in there. I just kind of squeeze off the excess chocolate. And I push them down to the edge of my fingers here, and then I systematically just place them right there on the paper. So I'll just keep doing that over and over again. Like I said, we do lots of nut clusters, we do turtles, all kinds of different things. But you can see my hand is right in the chocolate, and I just kind of push them right off the end of my fingers there. And then once we fill this tray completely up full of different nut clusters, we'll then take it in the cool room there, and then let it cool after about an hour or so. Once it's cool enough, it can really go right out front and be ready to sell. So you can see I'm just putting my hand in here, shaking off a little excess chocolate, push it right on the tray there, and they're looking delicious right there. Now I wish you guys could be here live with us, because it is smell. Not only does it smell great, it also tastes great. And what we would normally do is just take a little stick here, and I'm going to pass this on to Michael there. You probably won't be able to see him do this, but this is just a little bit. You're going to have him put that right in his mouth, give that a taste, because that is delicious stuff right there.
It is delicious.
That is about 98, about 88 degrees, so still cooler than the temperature of his hand. But that warm chocolate is the way to eat it if you can. It is delicious stuff there. So I'm just going to dip a few more things here real quick. And then I'm going to take you out front and show you a little bit more about our chocolate that we want to point out to you. So just like that, like I said, we just put the nuts in my hand there. There's a trash right behind the microphone. Drop it in there. And then voila, just like that, we'll take it in the cool room, let it dry, and go from there. So let me go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and take the glove off. I'm going to go out front here, and I'm going to point a few more things out about our chocolates real quick. So remember, once they're made and they're dipped, they go in the cool room, they dry, they get cooled off. Then we'll take them out front and pack this chocolate. But one more quick thing before we leave, I want to show you the dark chocolate over here. So you saw the milk chocolate I was melting over here. This is actually the dark chocolate over here now. This is a semi-sweet chocolate. You can see the same thing applies. We add the chocolate in the back. The light bulbs come on when the temperature comes up. I don't know if you can see that. We can see there's a little bit of a light bulb back there. And that's all it takes to melt the chocolate. That's why the chocolate melts in your hand, because it doesn't take much to melt chocolate. Remember, about between 85 and 88 degrees is where we dip the chocolate. So let's walk out front. I'm going to point out a few things. Once we finish up with the chocolates and they're ready to unpack, we'll then take them right over here to our packing table. So I'll just open up this thing, Michael. Put that box of chocolate away. That's it. Come on over here. Okay, so I'm gonna put on my glasses here because I gotta be able to see a little bit better. But so this is our packing table. Once we have the chocolate all made, each box has a different flavor or a different kind of, maybe it's a nut cluster, maybe it's a turtle, whatever it might be. And then we'll pack the boxes of chocolate here. Now, one thing I want to point out to you, most of you guys have probably gotten a box of chocolate. You look at it and think, I have no idea what's in that chocolate because you can't tell. Sometimes you take a bite of it. Sometimes you maybe take a bite, put it back in there, maybe put your finger in the bottom and go, I don't want that one, leave that for somebody else. But we have a little secret here we do at Logan's. When we do our chocolate, we actually label everything. So I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but right there, there's a V on that right there. Are you able to see that? That's the V, which would be for vanilla. And then, of course, this is a little bit of cursive letters there. I don't know if you can see that. That is actually an S, which would be a strawberry cream. Can you see that little squiggle on there? That is what we would call stringing. We have R, which is, we do 2 R's. We do raspberry and a butter rum. So this is a squiggle, which is the raspberry. And then we also have an R, which would be rum. Sometimes the shape will determine what it is. We do a little bit different shape. This is a peanut butter melty because of the shape and size of the squareness. I know it's, I can tell it's a peanut butter melty. And on top, there's what we call a split dip. And then here's another one. Here is a orange cream. You can see on the outside edge there, there's an O. It goes right around the outside edge there. That's an O for orange. And I'll show you a couple more last ones here. So we have cherry, chocolate, and coconut. So we do a couple different ones here. So coconut, we put the letter C on there. If you can see the letter C on that. And then for chocolate, we just do a straight stripe. And then for cherry, we do a loop. And that way we can tell them all apart. So in most cases, once our boxes are packed, I can look right at the box and tell you exactly what's in each box. So here's one of our pre-packed boxes. I don't know if you can see that there, but I've got some different nut clusters. I've got sea salt caramel there. I've got a French truffle. I've got a little coconut item there. Actually, that's what we call tingling. And then, of course, all the different cream centers are labeled. That's Bordeaux with the sprinkles on top. So that way, it's, if you, as you work here and you learn that, you can look at every piece of chocolate. That way we know exactly what's in there. Well, basically, that's about the just some different things. Of course, we make lots of different things here. I mentioned marshmallow, peanut brittle fudges, make that in the back room and all that kind of stuff. But at this point, what we'd like to do is probably open up for some questions. If you guys have any questions, maybe something else you want to just show us, we'd certainly love to have you guys do that. So if you don't mind, maybe we'll move into the back room here, Michael, and let you guys ask away any questions you might have. You can see that chocolate's on there, still very, very melted. Once it goes in the cool room, probably takes about 20 minutes for it to start to set up, but it's going to need well over about an hour or more until it's completely set up and it's ready to eat. So,
okay, so we are ready for Q&A. Go ahead and have your questions ready for Jerry in the Q&A chat box. We have our first question. Our first question is, how often do you eat the chocolate?
of course, that's always a big question. Well, as my employees and myself will tell you, it's very hard to work in a candy store. It's a lot of fun. It's hard not to eat candy all day long. So we try not to do that. Usually you learn the first day you eat way too much candy, and you come back a little bit of a stomach ache. It is difficult to try to figure out what to eat. That's probably the biggest key is what to eat. A lot of times maybe you'll have to taste things that we're making. Of course, we're making marshmallow, maybe toffee. You have to give it a taste. It is difficult. Just make sure, remember after you eat the chocolate, you got to go and brush your teeth. So, but yeah, I do tend to eat a little bit of candy, much more than the average person because it's all good and delicious stuff. So great question, you guys. Great question.
Another question. Well, actually, what advice would you give to future entrepreneurs who are looking to enter into the culinary arts field?
Oh, very good. That's a great question. There's a big calling for that out there. I mean, nowadays, people go to fast food restaurants and all that kind of stuff. But if you get into something more specialized, and that's kind of what I did, we started with our niche here. I remember when we first took over the store, a lot of people said, hey, why don't you go in the mall? Why don't you open multiple locations? But what we wanted to do is we wanted to produce a very high quality candy that people love. So we just wanted to make it in small batches by hand. So there's always a niche out there. You know, if you maybe make cookies, maybe you can start giving some samples to your friends, maybe sell some at the Christmas time. I mean, lots of candy stores, that's the way they start out. They start making a few things. Maybe even restaurants and things. People are like, hey, man, that's a great sandwich, you know? So, you know, if you got to have a passion for it, no doubt about it, if that's something you love to do and you'd like to do for the rest of your life, it's a lot of fun to, it is, you know, being self-employed can be very, very tough, but it can also be very, very gratifying too. So I hope that kind of answers your question there.
Okay, we have another question. What is the busiest day of the year for your business?
That's a great question. Well, probably the single busiest day there would be Valentine's Day. Of course, we know all men wait till the very last minute there. So they all come down. We do chocolate covered strawberries. I talked about the marshmallows we do in heart shapes. Although Christmas season is our biggest season of the year because it's spread out for, from Thanksgiving till Christmas. But I would say the single busiest day that we have is definitely going to be Valentine's Day. Easter is also a big holiday for us, spread out more over a week or two. Christmas, I say, is spread out for about 6 weeks, but Valentine's Day just all hits on that last 1 or 2 days. So definitely our busiest day of the year. Good question.
And we have another question. What is one of your most widely purchased chocolate products in the store?
Oh, well, that's good. Well, it's a good part. It's going to depend on the season. We talked about Valentine's Day. Our number one item for Valentine's Day is going to be chocolate covered strawberries by far, but just chocolates in general for Valentine's Day. At Easter time, we make fudge centered eggs. We do 4 different sizes of fudge eggs. I think you guys remember seeing the fudge out there a little bit earlier. We weigh it, we shape it, we mold it. They get double dipped in chocolate. We put decorations on them. Each one can be personalized with a name. So for Easter time, that's our biggest one. Christmas time, it's kind of just a variety of all chocolates. We do marshmallow trees. We have all the nut clusters. People do lots of different boxes. But I would say definitely the one biggest seller probably throughout the year would be strawberries and Valentine's Day. And not as popular at Christmas time, but certainly as the season opens up, people see those strawberry patches open up in January, February. The chocolate strawberry portion takes off dramatically for us. So good question.
We have another question. How many chocolates do you make in a day?
Depends what we're doing. If we're making, generally make one whole batch of flavored chocolate. For instance, you saw the vanilla creams, strawberry creams. So we'll make a whole batch of strawberry creams in a day. That gives us upwards of about 900 pieces or so, and pretty close to about 35 pounds of chocolate in total per batch. Although we make other things during the day, always different. Sorry about that. We're working live here, so we got the phones going and people coming in the store because we are open. But yeah, just chocolate in general, making all day. But like I said, normally it depends what we're making. Creams about 800 pieces per day. So I'm gonna get a little drink of water here real quick so I can hear my voice about ready to get out here. So we could do candy demonstrations all night long. So we did 3 last night. So I'm talking to this crowd of people all night. So I do tend to lose my voice a little bit. So anybody else? Any other questions?
Okay. Do you sell your candies or any of your products online? And if so, how can students or anyone watching this session order your candies?
We do not. You can look at our candy online. If you go to our website, it's loganscandies.com. You go to the website and look at the pricing, different things. At this point, we're still not selling online only because we make everything in small batches. So we're never not quite sure what the what our inventory is going to be. So it's always best if you place a call, we can ship it to you. You can come in and pick it up. Stores open 6 days a week. But lately we've had a big social media presence going on. We've had a huge increase in sales through shipping and things like that. So we ship candy to all 50 states. In fact, just last week we shipped some to even Puerto Rico. So we can ship it almost all over the world, but always in the 50 United States. So go to the website, take a look, and then just give us a call on the phone. Be happy to take care of whatever you might need. So good question.
Wonderful. So it looks like we're going to gear down with this session. Before we do, is there any other messages that you would like to share with the Inland Empire today?
Well, I just want to let you guys know, I mentioned before, we've been here for 40 years now that we've owned the store, me and my wife, Susie, and my daughter, Abby. We all work together here. But Logan's has been in downtown since 1933. The people in our community have been great for us, whether it be people from Ontario, all over the place. What I love about working here is that we're now, because we've been around so long, we have 2nd, 3rd generations. So we have people bringing in their grandkids, and maybe they came in when they were little kids and watched us make candy canes or things like that. And they're coming in. So it's just been a great thing. The Inland Empire, this whole area has always been so great and neat to us. And we appreciate you guys. We have great customers. We've got some great workers we've worked with over the years. We're hoping to continue on for many, many years, but we appreciate you guys. If you get a chance, I don't know where you're located. I know you're not too far from us probably, but love to have you come down and watch the candy making. Also get some great chocolate. It's a lot of fun and it also tastes good. So love to have you guys come down.
Well, thank you so much, Jerry. I want to say thank you also to the educators from all over the Inland Empire. This has been an incredible day today here at Logan's Candies. So we want to say go to sbcalliance.org, where you will find the next SB Connect session, where we will connect you with the world of work. So again, happy National Chocolate Day, and I will see you at our next SB Connect event.
All right, guys, have a good day.
See
Go out
you
and get some
later.
chocolate. It's delicious. Great day to eat chocolate today. Thanks, guys.